Meghan, our friend Meghan, this week made the most astonishing announcement, which was effectively, as ever, right, the sort of sad, simpering sequel to that non-starter.
According to seasoned royal commentators and palace insiders, Meghan Markle has now been definitively shut out of royal circles. No longer a matter of quiet hallway whispers or vague media insinuations. This isn't a theoretical snub or a fleeting oversight. It's the real deal. No sit-downs, no olive branches, not even a polite hello. Meghan is definitively out and she won't be coming back. The news broke in hushed tones, but the aftershock was seismic. No strategic press maneuver, no delicate step back like before. This was Prince William drawing an unmissable line and saying, enough. This wasn't just a move to safeguard the crown, it was also about shielding Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose name, insiders insist, Meghan had muddied one time too many. Royal officials say the tipping point came after Harry's latest primetime confessional, a rerun of grievances everyone thought had been put to bed. What stung most, however, wasn't Harry's words alone. It was the unmistakable shadow of Meghan behind them. Her influence, unspoken, yet impossible to miss. William, renowned for his measured composure, answered with ice-cold fury. No fireworks, no headline-grabbing retorts, just a calculated, irreversible strike. Meghan is now frozen out of everything: royal residences, family gatherings, even casual chatter around Princess Kate. Her name is reportedly taboo. Staff have strict orders to keep it out of earshot, while Kate's health and spirits are under William's close watch. This wasn't a mere reaction, it was, in essence, a royal restraining order. William made his priority crystal clear. Kate comes first, Harry's chaos comes second. If at all, should Harry refuse to untangle himself from Meghan's running vendetta, the royal gates stay locked, period. The jaw-dropper was the method. Total radio silence. No press release, no palace drama, just a vacuum, reportedly Meghan's least favorite sound. No headlines, no acknowledgement, nothing. A glacial shutout so severe it makes ordinary banishment look polite. Make no mistake, this wasn't just Catherine's preference. It was William, future king, seizing his destiny and making the toughest personal call of his royal life. Meghan Markle has been written out of the story, and the thunderous silence tells the whole tale. For years, onlookers could only piece together Meghan and Catherine's rumored rift from hushed chatter and sanitized press statements. But behind those gilded palace doors, the situation was far more combustible. Seasoned courtiers say it wasn't one blow-up, careless remark, or screaming headline that did the damage. It was the slow buildup of suspicion, lingering slights, and behind-the-scenes mind games. Layer by layer, the tension stacked up until the bond shattered beyond recovery. From day one, sparks flew, not the good kind. The palace had dreamed up a shiny royal Fab Four: William and Kate, Harry and Meghan, youthful, relatable, and irresistibly modern. That glossy vision, however, evaporated the moment the doors closed. Inside, the vibe was anything but harmonious. Meghan, used to steering her own ship, kept chafing against palace protocol, while Catherine, embodiment of tradition, stood her ground with quiet, unmistakable resolve. That infamous bridesmaid dress clash in the run-up to Meghan's wedding was only the opening salvo. For months, tabloids volleyed dueling claims over who had reduced whom to tears, but the public never saw the crater left in the aftermath. Palace confidants say Catherine's distress had little to do with the spat itself. The real wound came when Meghan repackaged the episode for global consumption. It wasn't just the Oprah interview, one insider explains. As the way Meghan cast Kate as icy, severe, almost complicit, that portrayal, they insist, fractured something deep inside the Princess of Wales. William and Kate dutifully upheld the royal facade, showing up, smiling, playing their parts. Yet the ceasefire was paper thin, splintering every time Meghan launched another media blitz to broadcast her truth. The tipping point arrived in May, when Prince Harry sat down for a bombshell BBC interview and took thinly veiled swipes at his royal past. He avoided naming names, yet the implication was unmistakable. The very institution he and Meghan had fled was still harming those they left behind. Courtiers swear they could hear Meghan's cadence woven through his answers. For Catherine, the blow landed hard. She'd been recuperating from a serious undisclosed health scare, and William had been shielding her from stress wherever he could. One broadcast undid it all. Overnight, the fragile calm that held the family together snapped, and the course of events shifted permanently. This time, it cut deeper than a mere PR hiccup. It was visceral. At the very mention of Meghan's name, tempers spiked, and William decided the line had been crossed for the last time. Behind closed doors, he convened a high-level meeting with senior aides and laid down the law. Meghan Markle is never to be referenced within palace walls again. Staff were told to strike her name from casual chatter. Press officers were forbidden to draft even a single talking point. Schedulers combed through diaries to ensure zero chance of an accidental run-in. Meghan wasn't simply kept at arm's length, she was scrubbed from the royal landscape altogether. The palace mood shifted from frosty tolerance to outright exile. Even Catherine, usually the epitome of calm grace, reportedly backed the decision wholeheartedly. Insiders insist it wasn't spite or vendetta driving her, it was self-preservation. Just hearing Meghan's name sparked fresh waves of anxiety, undoing every inch of Catherine's hard-won recovery. Each step forward, one confidant said, was yanked 2 steps back. William's edict, then, was less an outburst than a calculated shield, protecting the 2 pillars he holds dearest, his wife and the institution she will one day help him lead. And in so doing, he drew a line Meghan would never be allowed to cross again. No amount of apologies, olive branches, or even Harry's pleas would move it. For William and Catherine, Meghan had already done enough. This wasn't merely a boundary. It was a solemn pledge William intends to honor, come what may, no matter the headlines, the public pressure, or the roar outside Buckingham Palace's gates. Uncast as the royal calm, steady, diplomatic, the unflappable foil to his more impetuous brother, William has reportedly unveiled a new side in recent months. Not fiery, not sentimental, calculated, unyielding, and nowhere has that steely resolve been more visible than in his treatment of Meghan Markle. Insiders say the lifetime ban on Meghan wasn't decreed amid raised voices or emotional fireworks. It was sealed in a hushed strategy meeting where William delivered his verdict with icy precision. Meghan Markle is no longer welcome, full stop. No palace corridors, no royal engagements, no place in the narrative. No letters, no phone calls, no pathway to reconciliation. This isn't a pause to let tempers cool, it's a total blackout, an unofficial exile executed in practice, if not in title. William's severest move was the silence itself. No press release, no splashy tabloid briefing, just a quiet string of directives that methodically deleted Meghan from the royal ecosystem. Courtiers say her name became off limits in Catherine's orbit. Staff were warned to sidestep it in every conversation, and event planners were told to treat Meghan as if she simply did not exist. William refuses to feed the media machine. He won't give her another headline, one insider says. Instead, he's wielding the most potent weapon he has, silence. And that makes the message even harsher. This isn't spite, it's stewardship. With King Charles's health reportedly on the wane, William has already taken on more of the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Part of that duty, he believes, is safeguarding the monarchy's dignity and stability, something he views Meghan's continued presence as putting at risk. Meghan's imprint is stamped across every twist in the royal saga. An Oprah, Netflix, Harry's tell-all memoir. For years, William held his composure, but the newest salvos, landing just as Catherine's health wavered, forced his hand. Royal commentator Angela Levin calls William's response lethal in its elegance. No rebuttal, no recognition, no fuel for the fire. Just a towering, unbreakable silence. And, she notes, that very hush is what's said to be driving Meghan to distraction. Meghan has always shaped narratives with precision, but how do you steer a story when the other side erases your name? The royal family, known for its calculated long-term approach, has William at its helm, proving he's mastered their art. His decision wasn't just personal, it was about setting a precedent. You cannot challenge the crown and expect to return. The verdict is final, though unspoken. Meghan Markle is gone for good, and the cruelest cut, her name is now a forbidden whisper in palace halls. Meghan Markle has long excelled at shaping her public image, from meticulously managed interviews to high-profile streaming deals and curated magazine features. She crafted a persona that balanced vulnerability and triumph, portrayed as both a victim of systemic challenges and a resilient victor overcoming them. This duality defined her brand, serving as both her strength and her defense. However, since stepping into the global spotlight as the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan now faces a shift. Insiders suggest that for the first time, she is struggling to maintain her grip on the narrative, with reports indicating she is grappling with this loss of control in private. The tragedy of this moment for Meghan Markle stems not from a smear campaign or media expose, but from an unexpected silence. She never foresaw this stillness from the palace, from William, Catherine, and the institution she once publicly challenged. There's no response, no statement, not even a denial, just nothing. Royal sources suggest this silence is unraveling her. A Hollywood insider noted she's used to headlines, even negative ones, which gave her influence. Now she's invisible, and that's her greatest fear. The shift started subtly. Royal watchers noted Meghan's absence from family discussions. Media coverage began to sideline her from broader monarchy narratives. The final blow came with reports that her name is allegedly barred from mention in Catherine's presence, not spoken, not referenced, not acknowledged. Meghan Markle, it seems, is no longer part of the royal family story. Within Meghan's circle, the response has been intense. She's not merely frustrated, she's panicking. A former employee revealed that her empire was built on visibility and voice, but now she's completely shut out. The silence, they said, is louder than any attack. Her pivot to a Hollywood power player has faltered. While early Netflix and Spotify deals drew attention, later projects have stalled. Former allies in fashion journalism and entertainment are pulling back. Even Edward Enninful, the British Vogue editor who once championed her, is reportedly steering clear of future collaborations. Meghan Markle is grappling with a fading spotlight, according to a former palace assistant. She once believed she could steer the narrative, but the royal family's refusal to engage has caught her off guard. The silence from Prince William, Catherine, and the crown itself is deafening. No attacks, no responses, no statements. For Meghan, the absence of a tangible story or scandal to confront is the ultimate challenge. She faces an unyielding wall of rejection, impossible to counter when there's nothing to grasp. Cracks are forming even within Meghan's inner circle. Allies are distancing themselves, and media outlets that once revered her are now reporting with unflinching candor. Her greatest strength, public sympathy, is waning. The palace hasn't canceled her, they've erased her presence. Meghan, who once believed she could reshape the monarchy's rules, is confronting a harsh reality. She's no longer part of the narrative. No headlines, no responses, no royal acknowledgement, just a cold, calculated, and enduring silence. For Meghan, a woman who has thrived in the spotlight, this silence is more devastating than any scandal. It's a collapse through omission, and it's driving her to the brink. While Meghan grapples with silence, Prince Harry faces a more agonizing struggle, choosing. Torn between his love for Meghan and the family that once shaped his identity, he treads a precarious line between devotion and legacy, emotion and duty. With reports of Prince William's quiet, lifelong ban on Meghan now in place, the pressure on Harry has reached an unprecedented peak. For years, Prince Harry has stood steadfastly by Meghan through pivotal moments: the Oprah interview, their Netflix docuseries, and his explosive memoir, Spare. His narrative remained consistent. The royal family had let them down, and their departure was a matter of survival, not rebellion. He challenged, revealed, and rebranded himself as an outsider while clinging to the royal title that kept him relevant. The situation is shifting. Amid the palace's silence and William's unyielding stance, a subtle opportunity has emerged for Harry alone. Insiders reveal that while Meghan's name is barred from royal circles, William and Catherine have offered Harry a conditional path back. Family first, but only if he returns without Meghan. A royal aide put it starkly. He is blood, there is still love there, but it's no longer unconditional. William's stance toward Harry, once fiercely protective, has hardened out of necessity, not malice. He observed the relentless interviews, attacks, and media strategies, seeing Meghan's influence behind them. To William, Harry, wittingly or not, has become a mouthpiece for disruption. Yet both King Charles and, to a lesser degree, William still hold hope for Harry's return, provided he can break free from the chaotic spotlight that now engulfs him. Harry faces a steep challenge. The path back demands no more media deals, memoirs, or veiled jabs at the press, essentially abandoning Meghan's signature public relations tactics. Yet, herein lies the tragedy. Harry can't simply walk away. His new life, identity, and financial ventures are built with Meghan as the foundation. They are a united front by choice, branding, and conviction. Returning to royal life without her would, for Harry, betray not only his wife, but everything they've stood for since 2020. The cost of Harry's loyalty to Meghan is rising as her influence fades and public sympathy drifts elsewhere. He risks sinking with her. Friends from his past have grown distant, royal cousins keep their distance, and public sentiment has chilled. With William now holding a firm line, Harry feels more isolated than ever. A prince without a kingdom, a brother without a bridge. The irony is poignant. Once the young prince, who walked behind his mother's coffin before the world, celebrated as a war hero and beloved for his approachable charm, Harry is now a cautionary tale. Neither fully rebellious nor truly royal, he drifts in limbo. The palace remains silent, but its message resounds. Harry may return, but only alone. This is the tightrope he navigates. One misstep could cost him everything. Meghan Markle, previously celebrated as a trailblazing figure who broke through barriers, redefined royal protocol, and captivated global audiences, is now confronting a starkly different storyline in the media, one of decline, isolation, and disillusionment. The meticulously built empire she constructed, rooted in her public image, influence, and curated vulnerability, appears to be faltering, with its fractures becoming increasingly difficult to conceal. When Meghan and Harry stepped away from the royal family in 2020, they were met with a wave of public fascination and lucrative opportunities. Industry giants like Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Random House eagerly sought to collaborate with the self-exiled royals, positioning themselves as disruptors, victims of an inflexible establishment, and champions of social justice. The Sussexes initially thrived. They commanded headlines, secured high-profile deals, and influenced public conversations. But 3 years on, their momentum has noticeably waned. The Netflix documentary series, once highly anticipated, has faded from the spotlight. The Spotify partnership collapsed. Meghan's animated series was shelved before it could air. Even their most meticulously planned ventures, podcasts, lifestyle initiatives, and high-profile interviews are struggling to gain traction. What once felt innovative and groundbreaking has now begun to seem repetitive and stale, leading to audience disengagement, a clear case of fatigue. As one entertainment executive candidly remarked, the public eventually craves substance beyond narratives of victimhood and generic empowerment rhetoric. Yet, the challenges extend beyond faltering projects. The relationships that underpin these endeavors are also showing signs of strain. Edward Enninful, once Meghan's staunchest supporter in the British media, has grown noticeably silent. The former editor-in-chief of British Vogue, who famously offered Meghan a high-profile guest editorship in 2019, no longer references her in interviews. Sources close to Enninful suggest that their collaboration, once hailed as groundbreaking, ended on a sour note. Behind the scenes, Meghan's demands reportedly became overwhelming, described as domineering, self-focused, and inflexible, straining the partnership. The drift away from Meghan extends beyond Enninful. Former staff, collaborators, and once vocal supporters have quietly distanced themselves. Some have accused her of displaying diva-like tendencies, citing mood swings, micromanagement, and an acute sensitivity to criticism. Others view the Sussex brand as increasingly toxic and divisive, with the risk of association outweighing the benefits. One misstep in the headlines can quickly become a liability. Even in Hollywood, the appetite for Meghan as a disruptor is waning. High-profile friendships have cooled, public invitations have dwindled, and her once luminous image is now weighed down by accusations of manipulation, entitlement, and self-interest. According to insiders, Meghan has grown increasingly paranoid and defensive. She is said to obsess over media coverage, closely monitor social media reactions, and demand near-tunnel control over her public image. Once a master at leveraging the media to her advantage, she now struggles to maintain that grip. Meanwhile, the royal family's silence has become deafening, with Prince William enforcing a complete cutoff and Catherine reportedly forbidding any mention of Meghan's name. This leaves Meghan battling shadows, unable to engage with an adversary that refuses to acknowledge her. The absence of press releases or public confrontations has left Meghan's narrative unheard. The silence, the void, is eroding her brand. Meghan was never just a duchess or an actress. She embodied a movement, a story, a reinvention. Her empire was built on visibility, on being seen and heard. Now she faces erasure, not through scandal or smear campaigns, but through the deliberate, unyielding silence of the royal family. Meghan's influence was rooted in her ability to command attention, a power that is now slipping away. From gracing Vogue covers to navigating royal corridors, pitching in Silicon Valley to dazzling at London galas, her name once dominated the spotlight. Now it barely registers a whisper, if it is heard at all. Prince William's resolute stance sends an unmistakable message. Her time in the royal orbit, even as an outsider, began with a blaze of defiance but is ending in quiet obscurity. Meghan Markle has not been undone by fury or fanfare, but by silence. Rather than issuing a royal decree or engaging in a public feud, the future King of England made a composed, deliberate choice. Prince William did not lash out or seek revenge. He simply closed the door, locking it for good. For a woman whose authority was built on visibility, audibility, and relevance, this royal freeze-out is devastating. There are no more interviews to counter, no rebuttals to offer, no oxygen to fuel her narrative. The palace didn't need to utter Meghan's name to close this chapter. They simply stopped acknowledging her existence entirely. For Catherine, this was not about retribution, but about self-preservation. After years of public friction, thinly veiled barbs, and whispered grievances, she sought one thing: peace. William ensured it was granted. Meghan is no longer merely unwelcome, she is unmentioned in royal circles. Her banishment is absolute. There is a haunting symmetry in this outcome. Meghan, who publicly cut ties with her own father and distanced herself from family members she deemed toxic, is now on the receiving end of her own philosophy of total disconnection. No closure, no dialogue, just silence. And what of Prince Harry? He remains caught in the middle, still loved by his family, but no longer fully trusted. The royal family's hand remains outstretched, but only if he steps away from the storm that seems to follow his wife's every move. Whether he can or will do so remains uncertain. But for Meghan, the judgment is final. The crown has spoken, not with words, but with silence. No title can remedy it. No apology can reverse it. Meghan Markle is not part of the monarchy's future, not in name, image, or memory. She hasn't merely exited the royal stage, she has been erased, and the most powerful family in Britain has ensured that her absence is permanent.